Good morning, friends. I hope you guys are doing really well. Today is Saturday, the weekend before American Thanksgiving, and I decided today was going to be our family's Thanksgiving dinner. So I live in the Cayman Islands. It's not a celebrated holiday here, so I'm going to be working on the Thursday. So I decided that Saturday would be our de facto a Thanksgiving day, at least in my household. So I lived in the States for many years and I grew to appreciate the holiday, and so I decided, you know what, with my little family we are going to make this a tradition. So I'm heading to the store to grab a few ingredients that I don't have, and then we're going to come back and cook a 6-meal spread. It's going to be bomb. I'm so excited. And even though there's no turkey on the menu, alas, everything else is going to be so delicious, you're not even going to care about the turkey. So yeah, let's get shopping, let's get cooking, let's get eating. Okay, first up was the vegan cornbread. I started with some oat milk and apple cider vinegar. I let that sit on its own for a while. Then I took my favorite gluten-free flour as of right now, added in the corn and then the apple cider milk mixture, mixed that a little. Then I added in my butter and my cornmeal, a little seasoning, so the salt. I also put in the baking powder, baking soda, mix that really well. This is super easy, y'all. I put it in the oven and you'll see at the end how this turned out. Okay, next up was the macaroni and cheese. Y'all, this was one of the favorites. So start off with some coconut milk, some of the same gluten-free flour. Let that brew just a little bit, and then I added in my seasoning, my garlic, pepper. I also added my Nutritional yeast. This you're gonna see in a few other recipes. My mustard powder and my lemon pepper, my seasoned salt, black pepper, and my cheeses. So I use Daiya and I use Violife. Honestly, I could use both from the same brand. I really love those two brands. And the last thing I nearly forgot was just to add a little bit of sugar. So I put in 2 tablespoons of sugar, and that was it. And then I coated it with some breadcrumbs, which technically was my taco shells that I grind up. I just love this. The taco shells are made from corn, so it just turned out really well. I put that in the oven. Okay, then I went to the colored greens. So I started off with the colored greens and the tomato. I added my seasonings. And then I put in the apple cider vinegar, a little bit of soy sauce or liquid aminos because it's a little less sodium than regular soy sauce. Added my olive oil, gave that a good stir, and then I let it cook for about 45 minutes on the stove. Okay, next up were the cauliflower bites. So I used white rice flour and arrowroot, and then I added seasonings onto that. I started with the Nutritional yeast and then the Italian seasoning, my lemon peppers. Everything is going to be in the description box, by the way, so you can have the full recipe down there. So once I have all the seasonings mixed in, then I kind of sprinkled it because these are going into the air fryer. So if they were going to the deep fryer, I would have made a batter, but in the air fryer, I don't need to make a batter. I just sprinkled it, tossed, added some more, and I kept sprinkling, tossing, and then putting it on the tray. Meanwhile, that was in the air fryer, I got to making the sauce. So I used some butter and ketchup. Y'all, I did not have any other type of sauce in my house. I used maple syrup and some of the leftover flour that I had used to sprinkle over on the cauliflower, so that was very important. I then found a can of tomato paste, so I used that, and also some cornstarch, so that was important. And I added some hot water, made that sit on the stove and kind of get really thick before I then added in the cauliflower when it was done from the air fryer. Y'all, this turned out bomb. Again, wait till the end, you'll see. Okay, next up were my mushroom balls. So I started off with cutting up the mushroom and the onion. I had them sauteing on the stove just really quickly. I then put the chickpeas, some olive oil, and flaxseed meal, and I also then added the seasonings, usual Nutritional yeast, Italian seasoning, lemon pepper, some liquid aminos, and some bread. So I shredded that, then I added the mushroom. Didn't have time to wait for it to cool, so I just threw everything into the food processor. That's how it looked. We just rolled them into balls and fried them on the stovetop. Last but not least was my pumpkin pie. So I used canned pumpkin puree. I used coconut cream. This coconut cream is amazing. And now here's where I went wrong. I put maple syrup and brown sugar. You need one or the other, not both. Then I added vanilla and a little dash of salt to bring out the flavors, and some pumpkin pie spice and a little bit of cornstarch. Mix that, put that on the ready-made pie crust, and got it in the oven. Okay, so here is the spread, y'all. It was so good. I am so proud of myself. Here are the things that I could have improved on. Okay, not the macaroni. The macaroni was bomb. This was one of the higher ranked foods on the table. Everyone really enjoyed this one. There were leftovers, but only enough for the next day's lunch. That was it. The cornbread, now this was ranked number one. Everybody absolutely enjoyed this cornbread. I'm very proud of it. It's made from scratch, and you can find your cornbread mixture on the shelves, but to make it from scratch and it turning out so well, it's a proud moment for me. The cauliflower bites, they were good as well. This is something else that everyone enjoyed. A couple of people thought it was meat, and so they were shocked that I was serving the meat, and it's not meat. It's just that when you air fry the cauliflower, it turns into a really chewy texture. So we really enjoyed this. So I recommend you give this one a try, and as you see, it's very easy. Definitely different compared to when you deep fry the cauliflower, but air frying is a healthier version. My collard greens was another success. You can't really go wrong with making collard greens. What I wish I had was tempeh bacon. So if you are making collard greens vegan style, then definitely try and get some tempeh bacon. Saute that up first with the onions and then throw in the collard greens, and I think that would really add a pop of flavor. The next thing was the mushroom balls. Okay, so these weren't as popular, to be honest, even though everyone did say they tasted well, but I didn't really hear everyone raving over it. And last was the pumpkin pie, and that was absolutely delicious. Like I said, the only thing was that it was a bit too sweet, so I needed either maple syrup or brown sugar. You don't need both. All right, y'all, we are finished. It took us about 4 hours to get all the food done, but I actually had help. So you would have seen my mom Bitson doing her little part to help me either cutting up vegetables or whatever I needed. So if you do have an assistant, that works, and you can get this all done in 4 hours, but the food came out amazing. And so I told everyone to get here to the house for 3 o'clock, and then we're going to have our little mini Thanksgiving. So thank you for watching this video, and please try these recipes. Everything's going to be linked in the description box, so the full recipe instruction is going to be in there, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye, and happy Thanksgiving.